What if everything you thought you knew about Magnum P.I was only half the story? Beneath the fast cars, the laid-back charm, and the crime of the week structure lies a coded language the show's writers never spelled out for you, but left hiding in plain sight. Over 160 episodes, tiny choices, costuming, narration, even background set design.
I'd give anything to see the look on that turkey's face when he finds out what's really in it, too.
Carry meanings that completely change how you see Magnum, Higgins, and their world. By the end of this video, you'll never watch the series as just entertainment again. Instead, you'll see a layered character study disguised as tropical escapism. Number 1, the Ferrari isn't just a car. What if Magnum's flashy Ferrari was never about the flash at all? On the surface, it's the ultimate fantasy ride. Sleek, red, roaring with speed. But look closer and it becomes less dream car, more trap. Magnum doesn't own it. He borrows it, drives it under rules, and risks losing it whenever Higgins feels like pulling rank. Some freedom, right? See, a car like this usually screams independence. It's gas, keys, and a road to anywhere. But for Magnum, it's the opposite. His entire ability to project that carefree lifestyle depends on wealth that isn't his. The Ferrari is a leash disguised as luxury. And here's the sting. That leash makes the perfect metaphor for a man who lost control in Vietnam. He can drive free, but he'll never own the ride. It's identity crisis in candy apple red. Quick pause before we dive into the next hidden meaning. If you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. We've got even deeper Magnum theories. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's next. Number 2, the mustache as a mask. Could Magnum's most iconic feature actually be a disguise? That thick mustache is more than a fashion statement. It's a shorthand for charm, masculinity, and confidence. You see it, and you instantly know who he is.
They're in a civil defense tunnel in Diamond Head. Come on.
Or at least who he wants you to believe he is. But here's the twist. Behind the swagger is a man still scarred by loss and war. The mustache works like armor, projecting stability where he may feel none. Facial hair often carries signals of authority and maturity, but here it doubles as a curtain, screening out the vulnerability he rarely lets anyone see. So when Magnum flashes a smile under that mustache, it's not just style, it's a mask, letting him step into the role of the easygoing hero, while hiding the wounded veteran who never truly came home. Every grin hides a ghost. Number 3, Higgins and Magnum. What if Higgins isn't just Magnum's foil, but his mirror? On the surface, they spar like opposites. Higgins is strict, well-groomed, and endlessly proper. Magnum is casual, messy, and allergic to rules.
Don't worry, Higgins, I'll drive careful!
That tension builds so much of the humor that it's easy to stop there, but look again and you see a deeper symmetry. Higgins embodies everything Magnum covets. Discipline, culture, refinement. Magnum, meanwhile, frees the side of Higgins that longs for rebellion, laughter, and risk. Episodes where they drop the banter, reveal how interdependent they are. They cover for each other, protect each other, and often seem like two halves compensating for the other's brokenness. Which makes the Robin Master's question so intriguing. If the estate's owner is a phantom narrator, maybe that's the point. One voice pulling strings for both men, hinting they're reflections of a single story. Number 4, the Vietnam War shadows everything. What if Magnum P.I wasn't truly about paradise, but about combat scars? On the surface, it's palm trees, waves, and sunburns. Look closer, and the war keeps sneaking back in. Old enemies tied to his service, lost comrades visiting, sudden memories that interrupt even light-hearted plots. Magnum never escapes it because the writers never let him. Hawaii looks like the perfect postcard, but set against Magnum's flashbacks, it turns into contrast, almost cruel in how beauty collides with trauma. Every time paradise appears steady, the past rips it apart. That tension reminds you the war didn't end when Magnum came home. Whole episodes pivot on his service, breaking the detective rhythm and reminding you the shadow never lifts. Without that context, Magnum's decisions look playful. Within it, their survival strategies born from wounds still open. Number 5, Robin's Nest as a symbol of paradise lost. Why is the lush Hawaiian estate called Robin's Nest, more of a gilded cage than a paradise? At first glance, it looks like the kind of setting people dream of. Beaches at your doorstep, rare wine stacked in cellars, and endless space to enjoy. But none of it really belongs to Magnum, which makes the comfort unstable. That's the contrast. The estate sells freedom in the form of paradise, yet it quietly locks him into someone else's wealth. His survival depends on approval, which makes his footing fragile. It's both a gift and a trap. In that way, Robin's Nest works as opportunity and exile at once. Magnum lives in a postcard, but it isn't his dream. It's a paradise with strings attached, and every poolside shot is really a reminder of absence, not joy. Number 6, the Ferrari contract clause. The car itself had a hidden contract that shaped Magnum's entire look. Ferrari didn't just lend their signature vehicles and walk away, they set conditions. Magnum could never be shown as a criminal, a thug, or anything that might tarnish the pristine Ferrari brand. That single clause forced the show to present a hero who was rakish, maybe reckless, but never dishonorable. This shaped more than just a character quirk. Producers had to tune the stories so that the Ferrari always radiated respectability. Magnum could bend rules, but he had to remain sympathetic. He could frustrate Higgins, but he couldn't cross into villainy. So here's the twist. A corporate branding deal molded the DNA of a TV legend. The Ferrari wasn't only a car on the show, it dictated Magnum's core morality and fixed his place as the lovable rogue. Number 7, the theme song's secret power. Did the theme song actually train you how to feel about Magnum before you even saw him? That blast of upbeat, fast-paced music is burned into memory because it wasn't just an opener, it was emotional conditioning. The sound told you how to watch Magnum, painting him as adventurous, charming, and larger than life before he even spoke a line. Here's the twist. The secret wasn't about being catchy. It was psychology. Repeated musical cues tilt your mood, the same way a laugh track nudges you to smile. That guitar riff didn't just entertain, it built a reflex. Even when a story turned heavy, your brain had already been wired to see Magnum as heroic and light-hearted. So the theme was more than sound design. It was a contract between show and viewer, promising fun even when shadows crept in. Number 8, Magnum's red shirt. Why did Magnum stick to that bright red shirt? And what was it really hiding? On TV, clothing isn't random. Red isn't just color, it's signal. It speaks of urgency, of danger, of blood. So when Magnum puts on that shirt almost daily, he's wearing a coded message about survival. But here's the sting. Survival comes at a cost. Magnum lived while others didn't, a weight that never leaves him. The shirt becomes a scar, made visible, stitched into cotton. Episodes steeped in loss or betrayal make its cheerfulness feel almost taunting. The brightness fighting against the darkness it conceals. That's why the shirt isn't mere costume. It's a banner of survivor's guilt, a reminder to himself and to us that every smile carries history behind it. It's not fashion, it's a confession Magnum wears like a uniform. Number 9, the voiceovers and the inner detective. Why did Magnum talk to us directly, breaking the fourth wall with narration? On paper it's a voiceover, but in practice it feels like he's letting you into thoughts no one else hears. His friends see the smile and the jokes, but you get the running commentary, the doubts, the worries, the flashes of dark memory. That difference matters. The narration cuts through the bravado and shows us the cracks.
We came back, Philippe. But you were gone.
You're not just watching a detective solve cases, you're listening to the story he tells himself as if his head was a diary read aloud. In a way, you become the one person Magnum trusts enough to drop the act. The voiceovers function like private therapy sessions, framing you as the co-conspirator who hears his truth. That's what makes them powerful. You aren't just watching, you become his hidden confidant. Number 10, the Vietnam Brotherhood. Did you notice Magnum's long-term friendships underline the deepest theme of the entire series? TC and Rick aren't written as simple supporting players. They're more than comic relief or hired help. They're men who walked through the same fire. That shared history makes every casual scene between them feel heavier than it looks. Survivors' guilt and combat trauma often isolate veterans. But here's the difference. Their bond keeps them tethered. Instead of drifting apart, they build routines of rescue and reassurance. Jokes by the bar or mid-air banter in a helicopter aren't just filler. They're proof that brotherhood can soften scars that never fully fade. Taken together, the trio embodies survival through loyalty. Alone, they risk drowning in memory. Together, they stay afloat, their bond masking itself as escapade, but functioning as the lifeline saving Magnum's soul. Number 11, the Magnum smile. Was Magnum's charisma actually a mask for pain? His smile was iconic, quick, warm, the kind of grin that instantly lowered defenses. Viewers saw charm, charm saw safety, but the truth is that smile wasn't as simple as it looked. When episodes leaned into tragedy, that same grin began to feel unsettling.
I'm going to try and talk Tobin out. If you interfere, I'll kill you.
It appeared right before a painful revelation or soon after an emotional hit, almost as if he used humor to deflect the weight pressing down. Think of it like a stage light, bright enough to hide shadows you know are lingering off to the side. That's why the smile carries deeper meaning. It isn't just optimism, it's strategy. He learned to use levity as a survival tool, both for the audience watching and for himself. It's the grin of a man balancing invisible scars under glowing Hawaiian skies. Number 12, Magnum as the anti-James Bond. Magnum P.I isn't James Bond, he's the opposite, and that's the point. Bond is untouchable, sleek in a tux, always winning with style. Magnum? He's cash-strapped, weathered by war, and spends half his time negotiating with landlords or chasing odd jobs to stay afloat. That contrast isn't a flaw, it's the core of his appeal. Now think about the Ferrari. For Bond, the exotic car is ownership, power, and control.
Someone's shooting at us.
I am aware of that, Higgins.
For Magnum, the same luxury is borrowed, a reminder that his freedom depends on somebody else. It turns glamour into irony. And unlike Bond, who cycles through allies like props, Magnum's survival hinges on his friends. They're not disposable, they're lifelines. That's the shift. He embodies the anti-Bond hero, grounded in vulnerability and intimacy. This inversion is what made him memorable. He revealed the scars beneath the fantasy. Number 13. The ending that changed TV forever. Did you know Magnum's finale wasn't just a goodbye? It redefined how TV could end. The plan was for Magnum to die, closing the story on a tragic but tidy note. But fans pushed back so hard that the show rewrote its own end game. Instead of death, Magnum rose again, pulled back into the living world by popular demand. That twist begs the question, was he truly alive or just resurrected as an idea the audience refused to lose? The result was less about closure and more about opening space for speculation. You weren't just mourning a character, you were witnessing a shift in how finales could function. By blurring the line between ending and continuation, Magnum's last moments built the template for event finales that followed. His final case wasn't solving crime, it was rewriting TV mythology. Magnum P.I was never just glossy escapism. Beneath the sun and laughter sat a coded story about trauma, identity, and survival that only shows itself when you start connecting the details. Once you see the cars, the clothes, the music, even the jokes in this light, the entire show feels like a hidden diary disguised as entertainment. Hit that subscribe button if these hidden meanings change the way you see Magnum, and drop a comment with the revelation that caught you off guard. Magnum isn't just television nostalgia, he's proof that even lighter stories can carry the weight of history.